Hello everyone, this is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful Rabbit Hole, Lore and Frey, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon. I've recently have been really wanting to go back and play through the Wonderful 101 again. And for the longest time, I haven't bothered to do it because I am still playing through Bayonetta 1. I want to do everything in that game before moving on to the Wonderful 101. You know, these games have the same director. They're maybe the same company. They're very similar in a lot of ways. And I really didn't want to let myself be distracted by all the stuff I have to do in the Wonderful 101, the Wonderful 101 when I hadn't finished Bayonetta yet. And so excuse me. And so I have this, I've been unwilling to go back to the Wonderful 101 for a long time. And so long, in fact, that I kind of forgot how much I actually love the Wonderful 101. I forgot a lot of critical mechanics. I forgot how exactly best to tackle certain enemies. I forgot a lot of some of the finer aspects of this game. And as a result of that, I kind of forgot how much this game means to me, because this is, I think, probably the second best game of the decade, right? Of the new 10s, that 2010 to 2020 period, the best game, the second best game throughout all that time was probably the Wonderful 101. And it's not just because it's so unique and fresh and different. It's because it does have some of the best gameplay I've ever seen in any game, period. You know, this really did feel like a title that could have come out of the 90s because of how unique and innovative it was. It really did feel like this was the evolution of video games that, hardcore gamers have been missing out on. And of course, we kind of saw why this kind of thing doesn't get made anymore, and that it doesn't sell to the mass audience. The mass audience did everything in their power to justify not getting excited for this, not caring about it, shitting all over it for paltry, shallow reasons. But those of us who had checked it out, who played the Wonderful 101, experienced one of the best games ever made. And obviously, there's all these things you can talk about when it comes to the gameplay. I'll be talking about that as I return to the game. But the major thing I want to focus on, something that I don't see discussed at all, because I think there are a handful of YouTubers who have always stood by the Wonderful 101 as being one of the best games of all time. I know Matthew Matosis has. I know there's a handful of people like that. Again, lots of people are talking about how the Wonderful 101 is one of the best games ever made, but one of the things I, as a novelist, kind of focus on, and something that I think needs to be talked about more, is that the Wonderful 101 is one of the best superhero stories ever told. Because what people don't realize about the Wonderful 101 is that it's actually quite a bit better than any Western developed superhero property ever. And I would say I don't want to say it's better than the Sentai it was inspired by and stuff like that, because I never grew up watching Sentai. I do like Power Rangers, but I haven't really gotten into watching Kamen Rider or Sentai. It's not because I'm not interested. It's more I just don't know where to find it, and I don't know what the best series are. It's not something I grew up with, unfortunately, and that is a shame because I love the Power Ranger adaptation. I love this kind of thing. So I hesitate to call Wonderful 101 the best ever, period, for that reason. But when it comes to actual superhero media, stuff that I'm familiar with, stuff that I grew up with, I think it's objectively true that the Wonderful 101 does have the best story out of any superhero story ever. It surpasses anything told in comics. It surpasses anything told in these straight to DVD movies. It surpasses anything in the cartoons. It surpasses anything in the entire history of superheroes, right? Because the Wonderful 101 understands the stakes. It understands what it should be focusing on. So instead of focusing on this melodramatic stuff about oh, should Peter Parker be Spider-Man, or oh man, Bruce Wayne is sad because his parents died. No, Wonderful 101 knows in order to make a good superhero story, you need to make a larger than life threat and have a group of people come up to fight against it. They are fighting against They are fighting a necessary battle, essentially. This is the thing about Batman and Superman that people don't really like acknowledging, is that, fundamentally, the conflicts are unnecessary. They're very small scale. They don't really lead up to anything. They're endless. Like anything could like deal with the kind of stuff that the kind of thing that Batman or Superman goes up against on a daily basis, right? Like Batman and Superman do not need to exist in order for society to function. Like the Wonderful 101 are fighting a real world-ending threat, like the alien force known as Gethjerk, who like number in like the billions, who have these like crazy kaiju like super machines that come down, destroying these entire cities. All right, like the Wonderful 101 are the only group of people who could potentially stand up to them, right? And the wonderful the 101s just have, unlike a superhero like Batman, whose actions kind of make things worse for everyone, the Wonderful 101 are designed to protect the public. They are designed to do everything in their power to fight the alien menace by any means necessary. And I really do mean by any means necessary, because unlike every other superhero group in existence, the Wonderful 101 have a really interesting ability, something that I don't really see talked about a lot, in that they have the power to unite up and recruit civilians to their cause. So like if you're in trouble and like things are about to happen, like you're about to die, and the Wonderful 101 come to save you, they don't stop at like just saving your life. They rotate around you, and then you get the ability. You get a wonder mask, and for like a brief period of time, you yourself get to join the Wonderful 101 and get to help fight the alien menace. Now, this is like a temporary power up. It's not like permanent, and like you're not like expected to fight forever. But like in the heat of the moment, when like you don't just you don't sit idly by and wait for the Wonderful 101 to save you. Like, you joined them. You help their cause. You support them. You are a part of the process of what you are a part of what makes the Wonderful 101 great. You, as an individual, are sticking up for your rights, your freedom, and your right to defend yourself against the alien menace. You're not relying on some government force to protect you. You're going ahead and helping them and helping them do it. You know, you are the Wonderful 101. And that's something that I think Wonderful 101 emphasizes really well, that like all the wonderful ones are people. Like obviously like they have problems and issues, like there's lots of infighting, like Blue and Pink kind of have their personal problems, like Pink is such a simp. But like you have all these normal people coming together to do something that needs to be done. That is like preserve the peace and prosperity of Earth against the alien menace, no matter what. And I do mean no matter what, because one of the things that the Wonderful 101 touches on, which I think is really, really interesting, is that like they try and give this motivation for Gethjerk. Spoiler for people who don't know anything about Gethjerk. The idea is that like 10,000 years in the future or something, like humanity has like become corrupt, and like the Wonderful 101s have become this like tyrannical group of individuals. And so like Gethjerk, you know, in a last ditch effort to like preserve itself from like the alien menace, humanity, they go back in time and try to destroy Earth before it can like ever become that like legendary threat. And like it's interesting to see this play out, because this motive doesn't falter the Wonderful 101s at all. You know, like it's interesting to see like the Wonderful Ones' reaction to this, in that they're just like, so what? And they still keep fighting, you know, because that's the thing, is that like even if you were or will become like evil in the future, supposedly, that doesn't mean what you're doing now is wrong or like reprehensible if there's or that there's no reason for it. You know, like these people are legit using perceived wrongs against them to kind of justify, you know, genociding your entire people. So as a result of that, you should stand up and retaliate. Like you should fight back. Fuck them. Like why should I feel sorry for them? Because they think. Why would I let myself be killed? Okay, that doesn't make any sense. So, again, the Wonderful 101 just stand by their principles and save humanity no matter what. They understand that humanity has value. They understand that they're doing the right thing. And there's really nothing that can stop them from pursuing that goal, that ideal of preserving peace on the planet from the alien invaders. That, I think, is based. Like, the Wonderful 101 is undeniably based, and I just don't see enough people really talking about that. Like, I don't see enough people talk about how Wonder Red is one of the most dedicated hardcore superheroes of all time, like the best superhero of all time in my opinion, because of his unwavering faith in himself and his team to do the right thing in spite of his like tragic backstory and like the things that happen. Because there are a lot of things that go wrong during the operations. They have a traitor in humanity who like decides to sell them out to Gethjerk due to like perceived wrongs in his past, and that isn't what he wants, really. Like, it's interesting to see how the Wonderful 101 depicts this kind of thing, this kind of behavior, and kind of showcases people rising up against it. It's unbelievably good. It is by far the best superhero story ever told.